Okie dokes then everybody, so we're back for another video on the TM Saiga 12. And for today's video we are going to be changing the stock for a Picatinny rail adapter. Or a Picatinny stock adapter, should I say. So, first things first, we need to take the old stock off, then we're going to stick on our adapter. Now this adapter, I will check very quickly because I've just thrown the box on the floor. This adapter is the, I think it's the 5KU one. This one has a sling point attachment as well there, which I think is going to be useful because once we slim this build down to being quite a compact shotgun, I may not run it with a stock at all, and then I can just pop it on a single point sling, which will be pretty awesome. So, first things first, let's take off the old stock. So this means, first of all, removing the dust cover. So you just push the button and then push forwards, and then the dust cover comes off. Now I think the recommendation is that you actually remove that, and then if we push this down, we also remove this. Okay, so that's all of the bolt components. There's nothing there that we can now accidentally place pressure upon and damage while we're working. So then we're going to flip the whole thing upside down, and we are going to work this pin out of this bottom area over here. Now this pin here, I'm going to try and bring it up closer for you all. This is the pin here we're knocking out. The only issue with this this current thing that's plugged in is there's so much oil all over it, so that's what we're going to get rid of. But yes, we're just going to knock this pin out that's right here, and we'll do that nice and carefully. Now you might not be able to see this very easily while I'm doing this, just because this gun is so big. It's hard for me to show it all on screen. I've just realised I've not actually brought anything to hit the pin with. So let me just grab my ultra long M4 buffer tube Phillips head, which we've been using on an AG build. And we should just be able to push that pin all the way through. Now the question is how cooperative is this going to be? Now bearing in mind this is a brand new box gun out of the box, so this one might have some teething issues just getting it started. Let me just grab a screwdriver real quick and it's got a bit of a smaller head on it, so this should be a bit easy. Just push this pin out. Once the pin's started, it's quite easy to push the rest of it out, and we're just removing the rest of the pin out of the bottom. Like so, ta-da! I will say everything here is absolutely covered in grease. Like the people who put this together in the factory over at TM made sure that nothing was ever going to stick or seize up, which is useful in a way, but also a pain in others. Right, then we're going to take our Picatinny stock adapter, and then we're going to stick that into place at the back, and we're going to flip the whole gun over now because we're now going to drive that pin through in the other direction. I believe this was the way up it was in. And then we are going to take this bit here, taking our pin and driving it back in the other way. There we go, and that pin is now in place. I must admit, it's not as in place as I would like. 1 second, bear with. Now you are supposed to do this with like a rubber mallet and a proper actual pin punching tool, but I'm doing it with a screwdriver with my hands because we're doing it the old-fashioned way, which some people might agree is the wrong way. Now I think I may have put the pin. No, the pin looks like it's sat properly. We can test this by pressing this button. Everything seems to be functioning as it should, so the spinning feature there is all golden. So let's pop all of our pieces back in very gently, not damage anything. There we go. There we go. And that should go forwards like so. And this other part here, straight into the back end. There's one of my dog's hairs, that's now part of the gun. Okay, and that should just sit on the back like that. Now we're just going to make sure everything is operating as it should. Actually, if you want something cool here, you can actually, technically, there's no reason why you can't fire this without the dust cover on, which is pretty cool. But you can now see the rail adapter on the end there, no problem at all. Is quite a different change from the original stock, but I think the major challenge with the original stock is indeed the fact that you are stuck with something that makes a lot of noise. Because the original stock, unfortunately, is not the nicest in quality compared to a lot of other ones. And well, I say a lot of noise. The noise is mostly from, I'll show you. If you're running about, I can get to do it. And that's all you can hear, and that's quite loud. I don't know if the mic's going to pick that up quite as well there, but that is quite loud. So there it is now with the, let me flip it around the other way for you. There it is now with the rail adapter in place. Now very quickly, I'm going to cut here for just a second, and I'm going to show you what it looks like with the 5KU respirator stock on the end. I'll be right back. Okie dokes. So that is now what it looks like with the respirator stock in place. Now I must admit there is a few snags to having this as a loadout option. Now I think the Picatinny back mounting adapter is going to be best for a buffer tube, Picatinny buffer tube, AR-15 buffer tube attachment, because you can then just run an AR-15 stock on the end, or just an AR stock, sorry, on the end, and enjoy it that way. I don't think, now I've had a look at it, that this is my favourite option for running this now. First of all, with the respirator stock, you are going to struggle to manipulate a lot of parts of this, and if I show you the two ways of folding it, you'll see there's an immediate issue with usage on these as well. So if I push this stock back down and unfold it, God, I'm still working this one in, this stock's proper tough. There you go, there's the whole thing. Again, it's a bit big for me to fit on the desk all in one go. If I now use the folding mechanism that's actually built into the Saiga 12 by pressing this button here, this is the issue, is everything gets in the way and that no longer locks open. So the answer really, is this worth it, is number one, if you're going to run it with a buffer tube and you want to convert it so it looks more like the SBS, just with obviously the Saiga 12's ability, the 12K's ability, I would say fantastic, amazing. Would I recommend running it with a respirator stock? No. I think this is something I've tried once, I will not be doing again. So for now, because I'm playing this in CQB and I haven't got the short barrel mod, I'm actually going to be running it stockless. So the benefit is, instead of having this chonky thing folded up getting in the way as I'm going round, it will simply have no stock on it at all. Hopefully that quick little kind of stock change for the TM Saiga 12k has been useful for you all. I know my videos recently have been a bit messy, but hopefully you guys got to see most of it, and I will bring you guys another video with this TM Saiga 12 after its first game night. Awesome. Catch you in the next one.